everyone, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Inside Blue 360, the weekly roundup. I'm here with my partner, Jerry. Jerry, did you have a nice week off? What'd you do? Did you get the coronavirus?
I got some coronas. But I do not have the coronavirus yet.
Are you sure?
But
you were late today.
I take the subway all the time. I'm holding on to that bar.
That's right.
I'm then licking my hands. I'm trying to catch it.
I'm telling you something. We have the best immune systems because when I walk into the Penn Station bathroom and I just go, and I got an instant. I'm not going to. Hopefully, I think you only get it if you have a compromised immune system or you go on a lot of cruises or something. Or Iran.
Where is our producer Phil, who just came back from a cruise?
He was hacking up somewhere.
Yeah, he didn't look too good actually. He looked a little pale.
He didn't look as tan as he should be.
Yes. I don't believe he was on a cruise. I agree with you because he looks even whiter than he did last week, and he looks pretty white.
Mm-hmm. So. All right, what's going on? What's going on with that bail reform? What day are we in?
We are on day 69 of bail reform, yes. And the NYPD had a pretty long and interesting press conference the other day that was available on YouTube if anybody wants to see it. I guess you just Google NYPD, I don't know, crime statistics, press conference, whatever the hell it is. And Commissioner Shea, for those people that don't know our new police commissioner, Dermot Shea, he's a pretty bright guy, and he's a data and statistical whiz, and he believes in having empirical data to back up everything that he says. And he had an interesting stat that 482 suspects that were released because of bail reform since January 1st recommitted crimes. They committed 846 crimes that we know of. And that's a lot. That's a lot. And he had an interesting and really personal take on it. He said that what people fail to realize is these are 846 victims. Now some of them were robbed.
Right.
Some of them just had their car boosted, or maybe the loose change stolen out of their car. Whatever the level of victimization is, it's victimization. There actually was even a murder in that.
Really?
Group. And unfortunately, that's a person who's gone, and that's a family that will be forever hurt for, until the day their relatives die. They'll be feeling that pain.
Was that the girl? What happened? There was a girl with the. She was stomped and everything. That's another.
Yeah, that was a horrendous crime. I don't know if that necessarily had anything to do with bail reform because all the suspects in that are between like 13 and 17.
Okay.
They're all juveniles, and I don't know if it's come out yet if that was a gang initiation. I know you saw the tape. For our listeners and viewers who haven't seen this, there was a robbery in Brooklyn on Utica Avenue last week. In the middle of the day, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, where a group of about 18 to 20 kids stomped a girl into unconsciousness and stole her Air Jordan sneakers. She had Air Jordan retro sneakers.
And her phone. Her phone and her Jordan sneakers.
God.
You know, like everybody has them now, so it's not even that cool to, maybe not the Jordan sneakers, but what a shame.
So I think they rolled up about 12 of the suspects, and a lot of them, their mothers are walking them in to surrender them. I don't know if you read one of the interviews, but the woman said she saw the tape, saw it was her son, and she wanted to strangle her son herself.
Of course. That's good parenting right there.
Yeah. So hopefully she can get this kid straightened out because, if you're committing heinous robberies
something
like that,
I mean, you want to stop any kind of crime they're committing, but you certainly don't want that. I mean, that's got to tell you something. That's a pack mentality.
Yes.
I'm going to jump on the pile, and he might not have initiated it, but being a part of it is just as bad. That's what these kids don't understand. They don't get it. Like you can't, even those Central Park, the young girl that got killed, Tessa Majors. Again, there's a bunch of kids, and something went wrong. Okay. But, that's something that went wrong. That's something that's in the back of your mind. That's in your DNA or something. I think it has to be in your DNA.
You never want to say that, right? You never want to say that someone is inherently bad.
Yeah, some people are really evil. I've been with evil people. They have a really dark look in their eyes. It's wild. A guy killed his wife on Christmas Eve and said he took his boat out fishing.
Well,
but forget about the blood that's all over the floor.
Maybe he did both.
I think he might have. I think he was able to multitask.
He killed his wife.
He whacked his wife, and then he went and he caught a few groupers over in City Island on Christmas Day in 1995 when it was 20 degrees out.
You know, grouper is good eating.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, yeah.
if you make it right.
Yeah, yeah. And when he did, he had enough just for him.
You know, I don't think we should joke about someone who got killed on Christmas.
It happened quite some time ago, yeah. But he has passed away, and but it was a very tragic story because it was just, I had to go tell her father that she was deceased and he was down in the bar drinking, like that kind of, real seedy bar where the glasses were like, they were like those hotel room bathroom glasses, the cups.
You're not supposed to use those?
No.
You kidding me?
Well, they were like but they weren't plastic. They were the glass ones that they used to have. That's the glasses that the bar used. And I remember I walked in to tell the father, and it was him and some guy playing pool, and he was like just weird. And he looked up, and I'm like, oh man, it's like Deliverance.
Jesus.
It's on Westchester Avenue in Crosby.
Wow. This is probably a lot going on for both the victim and the perpetrator.
Yeah, so I mean, it's sad all around and everything, but I think honestly, there's really evil people, and this bail reform isn't helping because we're just letting people out, and the crime is going up.
So we had Ron Kuby on last week. Hopefully, people have seen it on our website, InsideBlue360.com. Ron is a big supporter of the bail reform, and he thinks it's righting a wrong that existed in the criminal justice system. And it's possible that he had some points. But I know what I feel. I really do think that we should allow judges to take into account if a person's going to recommit, they're going to abscond, or are they just a violent person who needs to be kept away from society. We pay judges a lot of money. We select them very carefully. Some are good, some are bad, most are okay. I think we should give judges the...
they have to get their power back because it's just too many of this is just like going through the what do you call it? Going through the cracks.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you about something. I think we have a disagreement.
Oh, yeah, I like this. It's going to be good. Wait, hold on. Ding, ding, and in this corner, weighing 110 pounds.
We need Pat Russo to come back here.
Yeah, this is going to be good, though, because, we have a difference of opinion.
So
I wrote a joke about it, too.
I want to hear you joke at the end. So,
okay, it's going to be good. You're going to have to edit it out, though.
So there was a tape that made the rounds on social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. It got millions of views on Twitter. Of a young man being arrested in Brooklyn in Canarsie, the 6'9". I don't know if it was the 6'9" or the 7'5". I'm not exactly sure what side of the border it was on. And he resists arrest. He doesn't want to be stopped. A person comes along during the middle of the confrontation, and the cop calls for help. He calls an 85, and the cops show up. The guy doesn't want to be on the wall, doesn't want to be on the ground. He gets thrown on the ground. He doesn't want to be handcuffed, and he gets handcuffed. He gets arrested for resisting arrest and obstructing governmental administration. And
the Daily Double.
So in the same press conference...
The Daily Double. Go ahead, Jerry.
In the same press conference that Commissioner Shea talked about the crime statistics, he brought this case up.
I did see that. I have to admit, I never saw the video. I didn't see the video.
Okay.
So this is going to be a good conversation.
So the cops were there because of a shot spotter alert. Shot spotter, for people that don't know, it's in a lot of cities. It's in New York City. It's really in the bad.
Wait,
it's in
we have shot spotter in New York City?
Yeah.
Why? Because the system just gets jammed up in the Bronx and Brooklyn. The thing would be going off crazy. It'd be going off like my cell phone.
Well,
I would love to monitor that thing.
That's a job. That ShotSpotter actually has a human element.
Jesus.
When the algorithm detects a shot, a human has to listen to the recording and verify that it was a shot.
Oh, that job's got to suck. You have to piss somebody off.
Now, you were a Bronx cop for over 20 years, so you probably are automatically qualified to determine what is a gunshot.
I didn't do over 20. I'm going to put you, I was escaping out as soon as I hit my 20th. That's the first thing.
I'm a 20 and out guy also.
Yeah, there was no reason to stay.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But the other thing too is I just think that's funny because it's got to be good technology. I just think it's hysterical that it's in the Bronx and Brooklyn too.
Yes.
The cops. What is it again? I don't even understand it.
So
what happened to their ears? They can't just hear shots with their ears.
So what ShotSpotter does is it measures the distance in time. There's 3 sensors. They'll be out there, and a shot goes off. This sensor hears it and then this sensor hears it a tenth of a second later than the first one, and this one, say, he hears it a tenth of a second earlier than this one. And doing math, it can triangulate and give like a spot where the shot was from.
I don't believe it.
It's like defense technology. It's like what submariners do.
Where are these, first of all, they put these little things someplace.
Yeah.
You know that stuff's got.
Is it stolen? Is it being
Probably.
is it being resold out
It's
of
like
the back
the
of a bodega?
Newport. It's like the Newport sign over the Willis Avenue Bridge, right? That had a few little poop pops.
I always thought that they ventilated that sign so the wind wouldn't blow it over.
Well, that's wait. I don't have corona. I'm just clearing my throat. We did. We just, but we just had to make sure our guns were working.
Well-
Did you ever do target practice in where did you worked in?
I was a Midtown cop.
Oh, yeah, we had plenty of time to do target
We
practice.
didn't do
in the
target
Bronx.
practice because there were people that we could possibly hit.
Oh. We just did it with hubcaps in Ferry Point Park before. It was a cemetery
So I just wanted to say
and a golf course.
that the two suspects were spotted by the cops.
Okay.
And they ran. They split up. One was stopped, cooperated, gave his ID. He was given a summons, said, I got marijuana on me. He was given a summons for the marijuana and sent on his way. The other kid, who had the serious injury of abrasions on his knee.
Oh, that's brutality right there, Jerry. I'm going to stop you.
When I was a kid, that's called skinning your knees. My mom would give me mercurochrome and send me back out to play.
Right.
Get out of the house, she'd say.
My mother wouldn't even do that. She'd say, just get away from me, please. I had you late in life. Get away from me. She did. I love my mother, but I know I was a pain in the ass as a kid.
Well, you're a pain in the ass right now.
Right.
But that's another story.
I know. That's how I am. I am a pain in the ass.
We love you, Michelle.
But we did have a difference of opinion because my whole thing is like, I worked, I don't agree with law. I didn't see the tape. I was
Okay.
actually writing and I heard it and I said, oh, I'm going to fuck with Jerry. So I didn't see it too much. But we do have a in a sense we do. Like, I'm by the book kind of, so once the guy's in cuffs, let him, we don't have to still keep kicking him
So
and
this
stuff.
is like behind the scenes of Inside Blue 360. My partner was antagonizing me with texts during the week.
But we do have differences of opinion, yeah. It's just because I just don't like that pack mentality. And from the outside point of view, but I'm not saying that that's
Yeah.
the case here.
Yeah,
so I apologized to Jerry because I was all nervous that he was going to hate me.
She got me all jacked up.
And I'm like, now they're going to be like, oh my God, we can't have her on. She's like a bleeding heart liberal. We should go back to Woodstock.
No, we just say you're a liberal. We didn't say bleeding heart.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
But we do, and that's what makes this a nice little podcast to watch because we're not, oh yeah, the cops.
Listen.
The cops.
I said it last week.
I gotta go get my coffee and donuts.
I don't know if I said it on the air or off last week, but I'm a big believer in two things could be true at the same time. And you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Cops can have a pack mentality and jump someone excessively.
Yeah.
But it might not have been the case with this.
No,
this
yeah, you're right. And
incident.
Jerry also brought out a good point last week. A lot of the people, like there's this police department, all police departments, they're made up of like really three groups. The guys don't want to do anything. The guys that'll do their job, and then there's the gung-ho guys that maybe got a little extra in them, a little extra testosterone in them, you know what I mean? Gotta get that out in the morning after they kick their puppy and,
Listen,
throw their wife against the wall. They come to work.
Listen, I got in trouble in our first episode for saying that we should,
No, I'm just talking about, so there's different personalities, and that's the problem. And so, again, I saw, and the funny thing is, I saw the thing with Police Commissioner Shea, and he goes, well, we'll have to look into it. He gave the answer. You have to get it.
Right.
You have to.
Well, so obviously, because it's a press-worthy case, right or wrong,
Right.
Internal Affairs is going to look at it, and probably what will happen is Internal Affairs will just kick it to the borough command because they'll see that it's nothing. Now, if it's something, they'll keep it and they'll torture the guy, but they'll kick it to the borough.
Yeah.
It's possible that the poor cop will still lose a day or something
Of
because they'll
course.
say, oh, he wasn't wearing the color of the day or didn't have his shield properly
They had a
displayed.
color of the day? I never wore mine
He
either.
took the taser out and he reholstered it improperly or who knows what the hell, right?
Yeah. Ooh.
The cops who showed up didn't have their hats on. Who knows if they're going to
Yeah.
get, it is what it is. Poop rolls downhill. Can we say that? Executive producer Pam? Poop rolls downhill, and the cops are at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. Speaking of poop, our producer Phil, who's over here, we were commenting about you, Phil, when you were out of the room, just came back from a vacation. We're not going to say where, but he was in a coronavirus hotspot.
And he's a big fan of Asian food.
He is he. I don't think he went to Wuhan. He might have gone to Staten Island and
Or-
saw the Wu-Tang Clan.
Did he go to Tehran?
He didn't go to Tehran or Milan. That's like the big three,
I think
right?
he went to Milan because he is a model.
You go from Wuhan to Milan to Tehran.
Even Pope Francis said, "Listen, I'm staying back here, guys. Bless you. Get out of here. Throw him the video, Vinny. Put the video." Monsignor Vinny, throw the video on.
I saw that. He did his thing on the big screen TV. Yeah, like a Jumbotron.
It's the Lord.
So it's we're joking about it, right?
It's just the Lord touching
and
you.
it's
Just a little tickle.
you can't turn on the news, you can't turn on the radio, you can't go online.
Yeah.
It's about 10 o'clock in the morning here as we tape this in New York City. The market's opened a half hour ago. I'm sure they're down a gazillion points. Our 401ks are in a crapper.
Yeah, I'm taking money out of mine, big time.
Don't take it out yet. Not to
I already took it out. I had to pay some bills.
Not to give financial advice, because we are not financial professionals.
I took it out. I took the 10% right from the top.
You got to ride this out. This is gonna become a problem for the cops
Of course.
everywhere, because the bottom line is every problem in the world eventually becomes a problem for cops.
Right, and so, like, I know when I came on the job, AIDS was a big thing.
Yes.
So to be very honest with you, this coronavirus, like, they're making a very big, everybody, you have to use common sense. You got to wash your hands. You don't be a slob. You wash your hands, right?
I do.
Okay, good. You wash your
I
hands.
actually washed my hands just before we went on here.
I did too. You wash your hands, you try not to cough on people.
We have breaking news, by the way. The market's down 7% today. Today, 7%.
7%. I don't know what it's locked.
They locked it.
Why do they do that? I'm not.
So to stop like a worldwide panic.
Oh.
Yeah. So back in 24, when they had the Great Depression, they just let the market go, and it went down and down and down. And so now they'll just absolutely stop trading.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, so that's actually smart. That's a good thing.
So I mean, I know when I just to get back to this, like, when I was first on the came on the job, that's when AIDS was a big thing, and so nobody knew about it and this and that. So they had precautions in place. Make sure you clean your equipment, you take bleach, you clean your handcuffs with bleach, stuff like that. So
Right.
what are they doing for this? Are they just saying the same thing?
Wash your hands. For people who are coughing and sneezing, cough in your sleeve.
Stay
right?
off the crowded subways if you're sick. But the homeless guy can sleep on it.
Well, he's healthy, that guy. I'm
No,
sure.
he probably. You know what? You're right.
He's probably immune to everything.
You're right. You guys. Yeah, you're right.
One of the things I think is going to
I
happen.
should have sat right next to him.
So if you're a viewer of the show and you don't live in the New York area, we've had an extremely mild winter here.
Oh, yeah.
So that means we are going to have an extremely active allergy season. So now you're going to have people on the subway sniffling and sneezing from allergies. And then I guarantee you people are going to get assaulted over this. They're going to get punched in the face. They're going to get kicked.
They beat some woman up because she had a mask on. You can't do that.
So I have to be careful. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But a person very close to me, my wife, is in the healthcare profession. And there was a fist fight at the location where she works, which will not be named, because someone coughed in the waiting room. And someone said, "Why are you coughing? Get out of here." And there was a fist fight in the waiting room.
I was doing comedy yesterday, and the comedian coughed on the mic, and I was hosting the show. It was just he cleared his throat. So, now we got to. We were making fun of it. Comedians don't care. They'll just all gather in a tight place just to tell their jokes. They don't care.
On a subway car, anything.
And there was audience there. So there's a lot of people. You got to still get out and live.
Could you get 100 comedians to get into one subway car and do their act for a homeless guy who sleeps through the whole thing?
Usually that's what happens on the way home because you're going through your set, and that's the only guy that's going to listen to you. Had a rough one tonight. Tough crowd.
So coronavirus is killing the market. We're also getting some help from the Saudi Arabians who dumped like a gazillion barrels of oil on the market yesterday, driving oil prices down, which would normally be a good thing. But if there's a glut of oil, this can spin the economic, wheels and gears in the wrong direction, and they think it could exacerbate a recession. Who's that guy that's the head of Saudi Arabia? What's his nickname? It's like MBS. He goes by like these initials, Mohammed bin Salam or something like that. The guy, he came to power and he tried to show that he was like a cool dude. He didn't wear the robes all the time.
Oh yeah.
He had like the open collar shirts. He's got the really really robust beard.
Yeah.
And then he's like, he's
Mohammed
like
bin Salam Al Suad.
That's him. There we go. MBS.
Mohammed bin Salam. How do you say?
Salad, bin salad.
Salam al Sayyid.
I hope you can pick that up on the mic because there's no way I can repeat that.
MBS. We're going to call him MBS. I think that's his nickname. And, he's a freaking ruthless killer.
That's great. I love these guys. That's
They
great.
Just plummeted the stock market.
Yeah, you know what? Not to be mean, but somebody like that, that's a bad thing to do. I don't advocate, but you gotta. I just he probably knew he was gonna do this all along. What a devious piece of
Oh,
garbage.
yeah. Well, there's a lot of bad people out there.
You know,
right?
there really are. See, those are one of the evil ones.
And I bet you it hurts Iran somehow because the Saudis hate the Iranians.
Oh,
so
yeah.
whatever this is, I'm sure this is going to hurt Iran.
It hurts everybody.
Yeah.
You know, it hurts everybody. That's the problem. So what's the NYPD doing about coronavirus?
So
Are they putting it up against the wall and telling them to shut the fuck up, put your hands up?
So they're supposedly don't move.
Don't move! Put your
tase
hands
you.
on the wall, coronavirus.
I will tase you.
I'll give you a discount summons.
I don't know. I think they're giving it. I know they're stockpiling masks in the precincts, but I don't know if they're distributing them.
Yeah.
I'm sure guys have grabbed gloves and stuff like that, and maybe they're using caution. But the bottom line is, police work is a close contact sport, right? You get close to people, sometimes closer than you want to be.
Yeah. I remember at 9/11, thank God I had the bandana that I used to put to make my head not hurt when you had to wear your helmet. The one time in your career that you had to wear it, and so I put it and I used that. I remember, no offense, but I remember working at the landfill, right? Every Monday, going down there, sorting through the debris. And so they had the respirators. They gave us good respirators.
Yeah.
So I cleaned mine with the little alcohol wipes. So then after meal, and they really took care of us there. They made us feel they made a very uncomfortable, horrible situation manageable. And so after my meal, I went up to the guy. I go, I need another alcohol wipe to wipe my respirator. He goes, you got one this morning. I go, dude, I want another one now. You know what I mean? What are you cheaping out for? I got it. You know what I'm saying?
You overquota.
No, you only have to wash that once a tour. So do what you want to do to keep protected. But be clean yourself. So make sure you take care of yourselves.
So I'm going to do what I always do, explain to our listeners. The Staten Island landfill was a place after 9/11 when they'd search Ground Zero for remains,
debris,
and for,
all the debris,
and for maybe property of people like jewelry and wallets and ID and things, so they could bring closure to the families of the victims. The last chance to find anything, everything would go to Staten Island, and detectives like Michelle would be in a full Tyvek suit with a full respirator and a mask, and going through sifters and sorters and on their hands and knees with their, sifting with their fingers. Looking for whatever they could get, and it was one of the toughest places to work. I give you a lot of kudos if that was where you were assigned, because
every day there was no narcotics going on. They let them run rampant for a bit.
No, the criminals caught on pretty quickly that they were allowed to do whatever they wanted.
Hey, narcotics is in the school team's at the landfill today. Let's go.
But to their credit, they kind of stopped shooting.
No, they actually did.
They stopped shooting each other for a while. Kind of gave us a little break, which was nice.
And the thing of it is, I think at a time like that, everybody was just whoa, I got to take a step. They just needed to clear, even those guys needed to clear their head a little bit, to process what just happened. So, but I just think it's a matter of just taking care of yourself. Just use common sense and maybe go that extra step. Wash your hands a little bit more frequently.
So I wanted to mention our brothers and sisters from the fire department. He's a fire. There's a fire truck.
I know
there.
a fireman. His name is Dan the Man.
So the fire department announced that FDNY EMS will go to coronavirus cases, but engine companies and ladder companies will not. Now, I guess they are afraid that if coronavirus starts going through the firefighting ranks, that all the firemen will be sick.
What, they can't sleep at the firehouse then?
But can I tell you something?
I'm only kidding. They're cool guys.
You do know who's going to have to fight fires if all the firemen are sick. The police are going to have to fight fires.
I like the firemen. They're whatever. They're cool and stuff, but it's just guys, come on. You never even wanted to go to EM. You never even want. Do you ever see when they have to respond to a car accident? Because they have to respond to car accidents if there's no EMS available, and I saw them on the LIE. They were freaking pissed. They were sitting there with their shit, their gear on, and the fire truck, and they're just Doesn't it suck? They don't have to go to details. Put
Listen.
the barriers on the curb. Take them off the curb.
Listen.
Put them on the curb. Take them off
My
the curb.
partner here lives in Long Island.
I live in Long Island.
I live in Brooklyn, so please,
wish I could-
FDNY, come save my fat ass if my house is on fire.
I know. I
please.
like the firemen. Like I said, my good buddy Dan, he's a fireman now. He used to be my CrossFit coach. And he became a fireman, so they're cool guys and stuff. But it's just
Well,
funny.
he hasn't
because,
given up coaching because he only works 1 day a week, right?
yeah, no, Dan now, he remotely puts out fire.
That's his part-time job. He shows up at the firehouse and puts out
Hey, guys,
fire.
what's going on? What are we having to eat? They do cook and stuff, too.
They do cook.
And, like, I have to say, did you ever see, too, the one thing about them, they don't have to enforce the law, so it's much different. But did you ever see, like, when they have to get reassigned to another firehouse for the day? They don't drive their car in uniform. They suit up and they put on all their stuff, the little firehouse,
And they take the bus, the
subway or
subway,
the
yeah.
bus, and that's phenomenal. I give them a lot of credit.
Well, that's a union thing.
That's
Because it
great.
takes time to get there. Yeah,
That's a great
Because there's
thing.
someone filling an overtime spot until that guy gets there.
Yeah, that's cool though. I just give it, because unfortunately, like, and I'm sure they have it too. There's a lot of cops that'd be like, "Fuck that, I'm not taking the subway. I'm driving," and they'd be there like in 10 minutes, and the guy'd be like,
Well, you got to park around the block, and
Yeah, but the guy who takes his car is a little too
and maybe
eager to
listen,
get to his
listen
job.
listen to Inside Blue 360 on
Yeah,
however you
we
get
do
your
invite
podcast.
firemen and sanitation workers too. They have the best job.
We should have a firefighter on the show.
Yes, you want to have a firefighter? I'll see a firefighter,
First of all,
Dan.
there's a zillion ex-cops who are firefighters, so we got to get one. Yeah,
We can get I
Phil,
got
will
it.
you, right? Oh no, it goes the other way. We don't. Is there? You know what we got to find? There's got to be an ex-firefighter who's a cop. There's a million cops who become firefighters.
They are a bunch of them, but yeah, some of them. I know a few of them. Yeah.
I say it's got to be less than 3.
Well, there was a time when a lot of cops rolled over to the fire department, but we also lost a lot of them in 9/11.
You're kidding me. I worked with one. Producer Phil, we won't even name him because I wouldn't want to shame him this way. He was a firefighter and he became a cop? Wow.
Cop. He's a cop and then became a fireman.
Oh, yeah. He was a cop and then a fireman and then a cop?
All right,
What?
why don't we just have somebody on who just became a fireman? It's a little easier.
I'm going to name him. Our friend, I'll go switch him up a little bit. Our friend Cryan Bostello was a cop with us in Midtown South, was a cop that
He was a cop in Midtown South and left?
Well, where was
What
he?
did he get tired of watching all the pretty girls and stuff? What did he get tired of shopping on duty and eating good
It's possible. Maybe he was charged for a meal, Phil.
That's it. The fire department. We don't.
All cops in Midtown pay for their meals. Let's be clear about that.
No, they do now.
There's none of this.
No more on the arm. No more on the arm.
All right.
I wasn't a big fan of that. When my father owned a business, my parents owned a Carvel out on Long Island, and the Nassau County during the 70s.
I would have taken you to my prom if I knew that.
I probably would have wanted to go with your wife. So in the 70s, it was like in the 70s, so he's still laughing. It was in the 70s, and so the Nassau cops were just like, a much different breed. And so they'd come in and my father would say, you don't charge the police officers. But this one guy used to come in and just expect it. All the other cops had their wallets open, and of course I'd say no. And this one guy said, "Oh, it's $2," and he looked at me, and I just played stupid. And he was the chief. And then he got jammed up later for taking his dry cleaning to the dry cleaner and telling him to do it for free.
Jesus.
And then he got even more jammed up because he took teddy bears that were for so I mean,
like homeless orphans, and he took the teddy bears for himself.
And the guy's making. My whole thing is, it's nice, and believe me, I don't mind it. But my whole thing, it's somebody's business, and then you have the mentality. Then there's a line around the block. Why is everybody at Square Bagels from every other precinct? Those idiots.
Did you ever meet Tom Carvel?
My parents did. I didn't.
Wow. Is there like an autographed picture of Tom Carvel in your house someplace?
Cookie Puss. Believe me, we had a lot of fun working in the back with my father's whipped cream machine.
Hey now. That'll be on Inside Blue After Dark.
We used to have the nitrous oxide machine. And, and he put a lock on it because he didn't want anybody, but he'd go to take the regular whipped cream and he'd be like, and he'd be like, go to make a sign, "Who sucked all the nitrous oxide out of the," "Not me, Daddy."
Wow.
Yeah.
The things you find out on this show.
I was troubled as a youth.
So when you were in narcotics, did you do any cases against the Carvel stores in the Bronx?
No.
For like nitrous oxide misuse? What CPCS is that? 7? I don't know. What would that be?
You could use it illegally. I mean, and it's so stupid because it just makes you laugh for like 5 minutes and then it's done.
So you should give that out to your audience when you do your show.
Yeah, maybe they'll laugh.
Put whipped cream on all the
Maybe you should
tables.
come to one of my shows and see how well I do.
I'm going to come. I'm going to bring my wife. Maybe, who knows? We'll see on Inside Blue After Dark. Yeah, we should have an Inside.
threesome?
Whoa, hey now. We should have an Inside Blue 360 night at a show, and we'll pump it up on a show. We'll have all our fans come, and we'll have a big night from a show.
Coogan's, we'll have a show.
Oh, I'd love to do Coogan's. Yes. Coogan's is awesome. Great.
We could do comedy anywhere.
We
In
can-
the shower,
In the subway,
in
apparently.
the subway. I'm going to start like those subway performers. Those are artists.
The back of Carvel. I love Carvel. Vanilla ice cream with
Yeah.
chocolate sprinkles.
I worked there for a very long time. That put me through college.
Man.
Remember last week, Ron Kuby brought up how he thanked the NYPD for putting his daughter through law school, which was very cool. And he said to his daughter, now you have to do something good for society. And so he doesn't have to pay her back. And that's what my father made me do. He said, you don't have to pay me back for college, just take the police test. I'm like, all right.
And here we are now.
That's why I became a cop, honestly, because
Good.
I didn't feel like paying him back. I could have paid him back, probably,
What would you have been, a Wall Street person?
went to art school
you'd
and
be,
stuff.
You'd be on Wall Street right now, and they closed the market because of the.
I wasn't that smart. I went to art school for journalism, so
We're here trying to make up jokes on the fly, and the world is coming to an
I
end
know.
outside our studio doors.
I know. I know that coronavirus and the oil.
By the way-
maybe this guy. What's that guy's name?
BS. What did we say
What was his name?
was?
Call it B-Sam.
B.
Sam, whatever he is. Maybe he spread the coronavirus.
You
He's-
made a good point about AIDS. AIDS was, for those, I want to go, because coronavirus thing, I think, is such bullcrap.
It is.
Because AIDS was a fatal disease back then.
Yes.
If you got it, you died. Producer Phil and I work with a cop who got AIDS and died. And he was
I work with a cop too. He got AIDS. An undercover. He got AIDS.
And great guy.
Yeah.
And he actually taught us a lot about it,
Yeah.
about it, because instead of just reading about it in the papers or dealing with people from like an arm's length.
Yeah.
you know,
Stay away from the gay
this-
people.
This was our friend, and
Yeah.
he was just a wonderful guy,
Sure.
and it was terrible to watch him take 5-6 years to die.
Yeah.
But people died from that.
Of course. Very rapidly.
Healthy
too.
people who were young and strong died. This is like 85-year-old people are dying. And I don't want any 85-year-old people to die that don't have to die. But no 25-year-old person who's healthy or 35-year-old person who's healthy is dying from this.
Right.
So I don't know why the freaking worldwide stock market is down 25%. It's freaking ridiculous.
Did you ever watch, like, you know how they have those conspiracy shows? I watch them once in a while, and they're when you just take a minute and just stop, and you think, like, this almost it's like a movie, where like everybody's wearing masks. And now we're not going to talk to each other. And like I was saying, like yesterday on stage, we cleaned everything. We made sure the club's clean. We wiped everything down. I wiped the mic down and everything. And like, as I'm bringing up the next comic, we all just shook hands. Like, so I said, there's some people, most people that I've encountered are not like, all worried about it. Of course, it is germophobic. You don't want to catch anything.
Right. But Mayor de Blasio said that people over 60 shouldn't go out.
Oh,
I
Pam,
would've- if
I'm
I
gonna
had
tell my
listened to the
sister to
mayor-
stay home. Pam, stay home.
I
She's
would've-
over 60.
I would have had to Skype this in because I'm over 60.
Yeah.
Even though I only look 50.
I only thought he was like 30.
Rashad, how old do I look? 40, right? 20. There we go.
35.
So
Rashad doesn't have his glasses on today.
Rashad's like, I'm sick of hearing about coronavirus. Listen, I think we got the high sign for producer Phil to wrap it up. Oh, I thought you said 2 minutes.
No, he was just going like
Well,
this.
we all got to wrap it up. But,
We all
could-
okay.
We'll probably be talking about coronavirus again and bail reform again.
Look at Jerry's thing. Look at he does this.
Color
They're pretty.
coordinated.
Right now, there's a 5-year-old. There's no colored index cards, and because Jerry had to write them on. He couldn't just buy the whites.
I thought the white would bleach out,
No, I think that's cute. I like those.
I
like
that's
those
why I
pigments.
wore a sweater over my white shirt because I was told it was too much white.
White.
So, too much white. So we'll see you next week. I am Sergeant Jerry.
I'm Detective Michelle.